This is my first time here. I'm backstage watching it thinking, this is like if Braveheart was about Ace Ventura.
I like to think Braveheart meets Pee-wee's Playhouse.
Yeah, exactly.
They can't take our freedom!
What do we got going here with James Carville and the Industrial Vibrator?
That's a great name for a band. Yeah.
I hear that, girlfriend.
No, get off.
I can't even watch Carville anymore. He's got more nervous tics than a Baghdad parking valet.
He does look very nervous. Why do you think he's so nervous? Why? He's married to a woman that's politically very opposite.
He's afraid of her leaving at any moment in case she realizes he looks like a Muppet accidentally washed on hot.
I've got a tiny penis. This helps.
Hey, you were talking in the monologue about Clinton. That's the third time Clinton's answered the call on something, you know, showing up in Bangkok, like you said, covering.
Yeah.
And I remember when they had those 2 female journalists in North Korea, and he went over to help out. I'm not even sure he knew what he was doing there, though. I'm pretty sure he woke up from a nap and somebody said, hey, come on, we're going to Pyeongtaeng. And he said, yeah, let's go to Pyeongtaeng.
No, I always thought, I thought it was because he had always had experience of springing chicks from dormitories.
Well, Clinton, you know, he asked for it. You got to make horn dog jokes about him. Because he walked around in front of us for 8 years in a perpetual state of al dente, and that's what you get.
Is that what you call it? Al dente?
Yeah, that's, you know, that's not quite uncooked, but a little turgid. Ew.
Yeah.
Let me feel the nubs.
Yeah, go on. It's set on vibrato.
Whoa.
Yeah. Nice, isn't it? Be careful, that's one of the most deadly killing machines in the universe.
I can tell. Can you believe there was a time in history that kids were ever afraid of that piece of...
Uh-oh. Hey, people still are.
Huh?
Yeah, no, that's a terrifying...
It's like if a humidifier had swallowed some Bic pens.
You can't insult Daleks. Knock it off.
You're
now listen, you can go after, you can do all the political stuff you want, but don't go after the Daleks.
No, I know Doctor Who's a big thing.
That's a big thing in Britain. Yeah,
And what are you doing tomorrow night? You're doing an AFI salute or a Kennedy Center or what?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, it's Doctor Who. The actor who plays Doctor Who is going to be on the show.
He's still alive?
Yeah, well.
Wow. They call him Dr. Y now.
What do you watch on TV then? It can't be all politics with you. Is it all politics all the time?
Come on, geez. That's my day job. When I get off at night, I like to watch Turner Classic Movies. I find it restive over there.
Really?
Old films, yeah, black and white films. And then I like at the other end of the spectrum to watch really crap TV. I like those uncomfortable fake TV shows about commercials, about, you know, the toothbrushing stuff and stuff like that. They always act the people in the crowd, and you think, what did they just slip these people a roofing and bring them in?
We used to talk about it as like when you get people that say, do you have difficulty using the phone? And an actor's like, yeah, it's really hard, Do you watch the Project Runway? I always imagined you would enjoy that. Or maybe the reality shows. What about Jersey Shore? Do you watch that?
Well, listen, I think Snooki's a genius in her own way. And
explain.
Well, it's just that when you actually call the president on something legitimate and get away with it, that made me laugh when she said, you know, it really is true. Why would any party want to tax tanning beds? And when you think about it, it's so ridiculous. So when Snooki came out with that, I thought, you know, when you don't make sense to Snooki, you've really... Did they tax tanning beds? Really? Was that That was the thing. They wanted to tax tanning beds. And I was looking at Snooki. To me, she looks like she has to remember to breathe. She can she can barely stand up, right? And at some point, she said, you know, this doesn't make sense. And all of a sudden, she's turned it into a legislative genius.
Well, it's fantastic. Now, are you? I'm never quite sure with you if you're not absolutely with the GOP, and you're not absolutely. Well, you're not with the Democrats.
Listen, if two human beings with similar genitals want to get married because they love each other, thank God. I love it when people, you know, to me, gay marriage is like 8 billion and 42nd on my list of things that concern me. Right above global warming at 8 billion and 43rd. Okay. I never get that. What's the crux of the problem? It would appear the temperature of the planet over the last century has gone up 1.8 degrees. Maybe, maybe not. Excuse me for not trusting temperature figures from the year 1906. We were still defecating outside in the woods, but I'm supposed to believe they had a stranglehold on the Fahrenheit at the Earth's magma. Sure, that was an accurate reading. Ezekiel, put the candle wick down the possum hole. Let's lay down a baseline for future generations to derive their self-worth from. Then we'll go hand churn some butter, maybe invent flight later this year.
Yeah. You think that, though? I mean, you don't care about the global warming? You don't buy it at all?
The way I view it is this. It's a very effective anti-terror tool because it's 120 over there to begin with. I'll be uncomfortable. There'll be a charcoal briquette at some point. It's going to get them before it gets me. Listen, I don't know. I think they're guessing. I think my generation's been good for the environment. I'm 57 years old. When I was a kid, we used to go to Dairy Queen at night. We were finished. We'd back out onto the highway. We'd chuck every piece of the car right out the window. I'm the generation who stopped throwing out the window, okay? Let the other kids down in the temperature. I've done my part.
Seems reasonable. What about
all of a sudden he's turning into the doctor on me.
Seems reasonable. What about the Obama administration? You a fan?
Listen, he seems like a nice man to me, and I like how cool he is. But there are certain things that to me, Obamacare, this looks like a big, sweaty encyclopedia salesman that we accidentally let into the living room, and it's going to be tough to pry him out on the back porch again. You know, when they tell you that you can stay on your parents' medical benefits till age 26, you get 2 years of unemployment, you can use Obamacare to pay for medical marijuana, they throw in some food stamps for munchies.
Yeah.
At that point, this whole country is Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure 3. You know that. We can't go down that road.
Then let's talk a little bit about the alternatives coming up in 2012. Who do you think might be an interesting candidate?
Well, there are unknown people at this point. Somebody has to be in a debate with that man who's proven himself. You know, obviously Barack is a great speaker, but my feeling is, okay, let him sell ShamWows. We got a country to save here.
Right.
But you need somebody in a debate to hold their own. You know, he's very smooth up there, and that'll be the unexpected person who comes to the fore, somebody who's in a debate situation with him where they do a wrestling reversal and get out of it and pancake him. There's some cats out there like Tim Pawlenty, who I think is going to be a good guy, Mitch Daniels. I like the fat man in New Jersey, Chris Christie. I think he's a good guy, but none of them mean anything right now. You know, Barack Obama is a tough guy to knock off his haunches, and we'll see 2 years hence who steps to the fore, but those would be three I'd name right up front.
What about Palin? Is that going to happen?
I like Palin because too many people who I don't respect hate her.
Right,
you know?
right.
Aren't you interested?
I know where you're going with that.
There are some people who hate
I'm not a huge fan of her, but now you've come at me with a lot of people I hate her. Oh, yes.
I always pull on that thread and go, why do they hate her so much? And you know something? I think a lot of women like her. I think a lot of guys, they're loath to admit it because of their wives, but I think they think of her as the first potential.
Ooh la la!
And I think
You say that on CBS?
Huh?
Oh, you can actually say ooh la la. Oh, yeah.
Although you had a horn thing for LBJ, didn't you? Isn't that why you wanted to become a citizen? You had the horn for him?
For the horn for LBJ?
Yeah. Some fantasy of picking you up by the ears?
No, you must be thinking of someone else. Or maybe I lied to you at some point. That's also possible. Dennis, it's lovely to have you on the show.
Listen, Fergie.
What?
I just want to kiss the ring. Have you ever seen a cat this loose on American television? I mean, it is as loose as it
You got me. Want to, come on, man. Come on. Blow a little organ with me. Blow a little organ. You know, do you play?
Well, I'm about to.
Yeah. Can you get it out? You want me to...
I keep it in the box when I play.
Yes. You are a Republican, aren't you? You all right? Look, man, I can open it for... Oh, look at you. All right, you ready? We got to play ourselves out because we get no band.
Yes.
Right, where you ready? Yankee Doodle?
I can't believe I couldn't open that box.
That's all right.
It's like Dumb and Dumber.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
1, 2. 1, 2, 3.
Do you suck or blow?
Do what you like.
We started with Clinton. We ended with Clinton.
Dennis Miller, everybody, we'll be right back. Please welcome Dennis Miller, everybody. Dennis Miller. Dennis.
Traegers, Whitey Bulger is my nickname for Congressman Anthony Weiner.
Hey, that makes sense, doesn't it?
It was perfect.
You must have loved that.
Well,
I know I did.
It was until it got weird. You know, it had that moment where you're laughing, and you go, ooh, that's skeevy. And
I think he nared his chest.
I hope.
Yeah, because if not, that man's part dolphin.
Yeah. I found his areolas to be hypnotic. They just lured me in. I'm getting man breasts myself. Now, granted, they're pert, but they're man breasts nonetheless. You know when I knew I was getting man breasts? I was watching a show one night called Man vs. Wild, Bear Grylls. Have you seen the show?
Yeah, I've seen that show.
Former SAS. You know the British guy. He's ripped, solid core.
Yeah.
They take him all over the world. He dives out of a plane into environmental hotspots using only his gow and his wit and his survival instincts. He gets himself out. I'm watching one night, and they're over the Amazon rainforest. He parachutes out of a small Piper Cub airplane, and he's shirtless. And I remember thinking, for God's sakes, if I did that, it would be death by mammamular flutter. I would just be beaten like the speed bag in Ray Leonard's gym before Duran, too, or
mammamular flutter?
Mammamular flutter.
That's fantastic. I love that expression, mammamular flutter.
Hey, I read your book since I was last year.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, it was great. You look good drunk.
Yeah. I was drunk for ages. For ages.
That picture of you with that drum kit is as sad as it gets.
I know, man.
And you know what I love is that wasn't the bottom, was it?
No, man, that was me getting started. That was like 10 years before. There's no pictures at rock bottom, buddy. There's nobody going, smile, here's one for rehab. You know?
Like a vampire. You didn't even photograph at that point.
Right. You don't register on film. You're just like...
Hey, how was Paris? It looked great. Was it fun?
I had a good time. You ever been over there?
Last time I was in Paris, I had a cab driver who smelled like a man eating gorgonzola cheese while getting a permanent inside the septic tank of a slaughterhouse. I said...
He's still there.
Yeah,
he's still there.
I said, hey, pal, there's an extra 5 in it for you if you run over a skunk. All right?
Come on now, do it in America, yeah. There you go. Oh, I know we high-fived. It's bad, but I wanted to so bad. No one will high-five you over there. You go to high-five and they're like, what? What? They give you a high shrug.
Listen, anybody ever does that in Paris, they think it's a signal and they hit the mattresses.
That's right. Like, oh, they're here again.
I see where the French are doing away with all snack machines in their school system. No more candies, no more sodas, no more snack cakes. It's all part of the French master plan to raise healthier cowards.
Come on now.
French finally take a stand against somebody. It's Little Debbie. You're never going to see that pigtailed vixen coming through the Arc de Triomphe on top of that Panzer. No way. That's where we draw the line.
You know, I'm surprised we should have taken you with us to France. Hey, now tell me about...
Let me see the mug. Let me dig the mug.
All right.
Huh?
That's nice.
This is the most unbridled show on the air.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to suicide by asp? When did that go out of style?
Is it out of style?
Well,
is it?
Cleopatra.
When I'm ready, that's how I'm going to do it.
Yeah, lay back.
I'm going to lay back and
unguent and ointments on your body and just put the asp up to the carotid artery.
I'm going to rub myself with an asp and see what happens.
Now, whenever I do that goofy laugh, when he makes me laugh, you always end up on the outtake reel before the show going. Like some Cheshire.
Yeah, and it'll happen again. That's it. All right, now you're just looking sarcastic.
There you go. No.
Tell me about this thing you're doing with Bill then. What's going on with you and Bill O'Reilly?
Billy O'Reilly.
Yeah.
We're going to go out on the road, do a little...
Does he do stand-up?
Huh? Nah, we come out. I do some stand-up. He talks. We do Q&A with the crowd.
Will you do a song or something at the end?
Little adagio dance. He beats me. You know, we wear...
I think it'd be a little Martin Lewis thing. You know, Bill does a kind of... He's trying to sing the song seriously, and you come on and go, lady, lady! Just like Dino and Jerry at Ciro's up on the Strip. Yeah, listen, Billy's a lot of, you know, when he's on the show, he's got to play the Irish beat cop. You know, he's got to run the show over there. But when you get him along, when you go to have dinner or go out and do these shows, he's funny. He's quick on his feet. Will he be able to be funny in front of the folks, though? Because, I mean, it's very political. It'd be very political, the two of you being political. I never do politics on this show, Dennis.
trying to figure out what your political bent is.
You know what my political bent is? When I'm on TV, leave me alone. I just try to tell some jokes, man. That's all I'm doing. I don't want, like, sometimes when we get politicians on, it doesn't happen often, they start going, I'm like, oh, you know what, shut the tootsie fruitsy. Like, even if I agree with them, I'm like, you know what, look, there's plenty of shows for you to do.
Crikey.
We have a talk. Uh-oh. Roll by.
What's wrong with me? Let's have a hand for former Speaker Pelosi. You know, Pelosi never shuts up. It's just occasionally you have to hood her like a falcon so we can sleep. I used to watch Pelosi wielding the gavel, the Speaker of the House of Representatives. I felt like Charlton Heston waking up in the field and the chimp was on top of the pony.
Give me a minute now. Give me a minute.
Meaning something had gone horribly wrong.
Yeah. I actually got it. There was just, all right, God. How are things with you? You all right?
I'm happy, man.
Yeah. Are you happy?
Yeah,
that's
I'm
bad
happy.
for work, man. If you're a comic, you can't be happy too.
Oh, that's all. You
really?
know that, God, when you look back, were you creative when you were that picture I saw you?
No, that was creatively drunk. I was.
There's an Exorcist outtake where they show Linda Blair that photo and she goes, "Get that away." It's freaking
yeah, it's
you look like you were in the pits of hell, man. Now I see you when I watch it, I try to watch it a lot because you make me laugh, but I watch it, I go, now there is a man freed from the bonds of addiction, for God's sake.
No, absolutely. I feel that. I mean, I try as much as I can to enjoy myself, and if I can't, I just take out my anger on him. It works. I mean, I don't think it's correct in any way, but
he demands to be smoted periodically.
Yeah. His shadowy figure there, judging me in silhouette form.
Where do you get off? You stay off my boy, all right?
You know what's interesting as well is that I don't think he's meant to be that badly lit, but it kind of works. You know what I mean? The shadowy figure of the man.
I know. It's like that great Larry Sanders, which, along with Seinfeld, one of the greatest shows ever, where Larry gets addicted to the painkillers and he's up in the mountains trying to quit it. And Artie goes up to get him to come back and do what you're doing nightly. And Gary goes, I can't do it anymore. I can't do it. He's like, for sake, kid, you're a Greek god, half man, half desk. That's what he looks like to me. Like a podium centaur or something.
Podium centaur. That's what we're going to call you from now on. He doesn't have legs, he just has rollers. Wheels. You know, the thing is, though, as well, I don't think many people recognize him when he goes out and about because, daylight is so much more flattering to him.
He is.
That happened to me in Paris. A lot of people said,
yeah, you missed it, right? Didn't you miss it a little?
What?
Being famous. When you get to Paris, nobody knew you. You didn't miss that a little?
I don't think I'm that famous here, Dennis. I go out and people go, hey. Hey, buddy, what do you want? If I go to Starbucks, people go, name, please? Yeah.
Seeing you on the street's like seeing Jonathan Winters on the street. You're afraid to say hi because you know it's going to get really wildly diffracted. But trust me, man, your people out there on the street dig you because it's fun every night. You know what I mean? Listen, I think we're in a golden era of these nighttime shows. Everybody's hitting the ball pretty strong. Yeah. But I definitely know when I need Wacky Whitey Bulger, I go to you.
Yeah, that's right. Well, God bless you. Have fun on the tour. It's always good to see
you, baby. Thanks, folks.
Please welcome Dennis Miller, everybody. Dennis! My dear boy.
Is just back in my dressing room, green eggs and ham turbating.
Nice. Do you also have a hammy penis? It's one of those things that happens with age, I think.
Well, my nickname is Vienna. You know, I had dinner with the other night.
Who did you have dinner with?
Carol Burnett, who did her show right downstairs.
Yeah.
And she told me she thought you were quite the, she must have been on here, right?
Oh, yeah.
She said he's quite the charmer.
Wow.
I said, Carol, are you kidding me? The guy's clinically insane. He was...
Little girls like that, Dennis.
Incorrigible as a young man, a bit crusty as a middle-aged man, and well on your way to being a dirty old man. You are Silt in a kilt is the way I look at it.
Silt in a kilt.
There you go.
It's got the Dr. Seuss. It's got a little bit of nasty edge. It's got a little sexy.
What's that character's name, the Seuss character?
The Lorax.
I thought it was a thorax, but then I remembered that was the animated Deep Throat. And what is the movie about?
That's good. That's good. Don't be using good stuff like that on this show.
Listen, here's the sad thing. I'm trying to impress the robot, not you.
You're not the first.
I don't care.
How are you doing with you and Bill out on the road? Are you guys going to do a sitcom?
Billy O'Reilly and I.
Yeah.
We go out on the road and we do two things. We adagio dance, and the female character, and then we do the crying from Mummenschanz, you know, with the toilet paper rolls where we pull the toilet.
Also nice. Yeah,
that's what we do.
I think you guys should do a sitcom where you have to share an apartment. One's a neat one.
Tell me more.
Yeah,
Tell me more.
Right. You're a neat one, and he's a really neat one. That's the twist.
The thing about this, there's a spot for it. It's never been done.
It's never been done. It's been done with neat one, untidy one, but a neat one and a really neat one.
Yeah, that's great. Very reasonable.
And a little bit of political commentator business on the way.
Well, listen, when we go out and do the show, we have some politics in it, but we also do humor. I do a half an hour of comedy.
Right.
Bill does a half an hour of racontouring about growing up and formulating his political thoughts. We take a break, then we take a half-hour question. So, you know, it works out pretty easily.
Sounds pretty good. Do you guys have a tour bus?
We actually have a tour smart car. Coming down Fairfax tonight, I get into a high-speed head-on collision with a smart car. I wasn't sure at first. I thought I felt something. And then we got out, and I looked up in the grill of the Beamer. I didn't see anything, but then I saw a moth way up in the left-hand corner. I lifted its right wing, nothing. I lifted the left wing. There they were, the Atkinsons. We took them away to a what were you thinking clinic.
Come on. You know I don't encourage cussing on this show.
Well, I wanted to see why they felt the need to drive around on major surface roads in a Fisher-Price toy. That's all.
I'd be scared if any of my kids wanted a smart car. Maybe in Europe, I think it's all right.
No, listen.
It's never all right?
We'll replace gas when we run out of it.
Right.
And that's why I drive an SUV, so we run out of it more quickly. I consider myself to be at the vanguard of the environmental movement, and I see people tooling around in these hybrids. I think, don't you have a soul, for God's sakes? What are you doing? Prolonging Mother Earth's agony like this. Are you a big environmentalist?
Me?
Huh?
Sure.
Everybody in Hollywood's
yeah. No, sure I am. For professional reasons.
Excuse me, I'm not.
No, of course you want to save the earth.
I'm not using the curly Q light bulb where if I break one, I got to break out the ET tent. And you know, I haven't worked my entire adult life to have my living room lit like a fight scene in an Eastern Bloc stairwell in the Bourne Ultimatum. So they got to work on that light a little before I start using it.
Candles are nice. You use candles.
You want to go with the Barry Lyndon thing? Now, Sheryl Crow wants me to use one sheet of toilet paper.
That's not possible. No,
hey, ration queen, I'm trying to wrangle a growler over here, okay?
No, that's impossible. I think that's very ambitious. If you got a nice little demure Sheryl Crow ass, that's one thing. But well, you know, a big kind of thumping pumper like mine, you know.
Are you proud this is the only show when you're sitting putting your set list together in the afternoon, you go, I can't say wrangle a growler. And then, yeah, it's Ferguson. You can say that.
Yeah. Saying you like, no matter. Hey, so you go out on the road with Bill, but you don't have a tour bus then. Do you stay in the same hotel room? Like, you know when Laurel and Hardy...
usually in and out.
Well, Laurel and Hardy, when they were together, right, they would sleep in the same bed.
Really?
Yeah, you know, not in real life.
Hot.
No, in the movies, they'd wear their little pajamas and their hats, and they would sit in bed. Is that what you and Bill do? Ironically,
when Laurel and Hardy had homosexual sex, although silent stars, both screamers.
Did you see that movie? Did you see?
There's a movie about them being.
No, the silent movie. Didn't you see the silent movie?
No, I haven't seen it.
No, I haven't seen it either, but it's awesome. I'm saying that for professional reasons. I haven't seen it. I think I know about 5 people who've seen it. Clearly, they're all Academy voters, but the. Did you watch the Oscars?
Yeah, I watched it. Listen, the Oscars is so big now that it's hard to do. I like the way Billy handles it because he's smooth at it. But let's face facts. It's one of those things now that has become so huge. Our expectations are to be something crazy. And quite frankly, you're watching 22 categories over a 3-hour period. They got to stop showing some of those clips, though. I've seen them 500 times. I'm sitting there thinking, you know what they ought to have is a segment, and instead of people who have died, careers that have died.
I don't want to see myself up there. But you know the show's going too long when you're like 2 hours in and you're like, will you get to the dead people, please?
Exactly.
You know, I'm ready for the dead people now.
I ran into a Tom Cruise lookalike backstage.
What about that guy? Yeah.
He was talking to an L. Ron Hubbard lookalike.
No, man. No, don't do it. Don't do it.
I kid the same time. Is that a new mug or is that the old one?
No, it's the same one, I think. Yeah, the fang's still broken off. I got you one of these. I didn't really. I'm just doing a Hollywood lie. You know.
You got to send it. Getting it's one thing. You always get me one, and then you never send it.
Well,
What's in here? Do you drink? Are you drinking?
I don't drink anymore. It's water.
Are you clean now? You're off the. You know, you're like Benny Hill meets Richard E. Grant with no one eye.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm going
that's
for.
Exactly what I get.
You're kind of like cheeky, kind of Dracula, but with a point.
Dracula has 2 points. So you
no, I'm thinking because you got kind of Dracula eyes. You got, you know, the steering.
Yeah, I always got a little Manson on my driver's photo.
Well, you got a little piercing going on there.
Yeah,
little bit of piercing, little bit of oh, so crazy. This guy's armed. That's what these say.
Now, when I read the book, and have you read his biography? It's great. I mean, it really is. Are you clean now completely?
20 years.
20 years.
20 years.
Did you save your own life, or did you get into the program, or what'd you do?
Well, you know, it's one of these things that you tend to talk about off the air more often than on the air.
I just want to say to any alcoholics watching, you know that step where you call me 20 years down the road because you screwed me around on something and you want to make amends so you can get on with your life and you get off the phone and feel good about yourself, but I didn't know you screwed me around, so I get off the phone and I'm pissed off. Stick that phone call up your ass, all right?
Wait. We got to go a commercial break, but just before we do, the views expressed by Dennis Miller are in no way connected to me or the CBS organization. We'll take a break. We'll be right back. Everybody, we'll be right back. Up there, there's a place for it. It's not my thing. And I always feel you get like drama vampires with that kind of thing. Like people kind of latch onto it.
I try to stay a little bit more out of it than Andrew did because it's too brutal.
Yeah, no, it's nasty. Oh, hey, what's up?
The hustle and grind, I carve my path. Each step forward, in aftermath. Dreams pulsate within, fueling my fire. With determination ablaze, I never tire. Day by day, I chase the gleam. In the labyrinth of life, I craft my scheme. I'll nurture my aspirations, let them thrive. In the symphony of ambition, I'll strive. Rise up and showcase your might. Show them what ain't done. They say us take flight. We'll scale the peaks, reach the zenith's height. Together we'll ascend, never falter, never slight. In the face of adversity, we stand tall. With grit and valor, we heed the call. No setback too great, no hurdle too steep. We're the architects of our destiny, the dreamers who leap. So let's rise, let's soar, let's defy the limits imposed. Reach for the sky, with unity as our strength and courage as our guide. We'll conquer the horizon, side by side.
Are we back on the air?
Yeah, we're on air, yeah.
Oh, can I get a heads up? Somebody send up a flare or something?
Well, you can usually tell because things go even quieter when we're on the air. The audience gets even more quiet.
Not only did I not know we did a second segment, I didn't even know we were in the midst of it.
Actually, we're out of time. Oh, it looks like we were edited there, but we weren't. We were just doing a thing.
Are we back on now?
Oh yeah, we're back on the air now. Don't worry. Hey, we're out of time.
Okay,
all right, we're out of time.
I get it.
So what would you like? Would you like mouth organ? Would you like an awkward pause? Or do you want to go for the big cash?
Big cash.
Big cash prize. What time is it, Shadow David?
It's time for the big cash prize.
All right, here's how it works, Dennis.
What is the prize?
It's cash. It's a big cash prize. It's $50 in quarters in a bag with a dollar sign on it.
Can I tell you what charity I'm playing for?
Yeah, if you want to give it to charity, I guess that's your lookout.
I'm playing for a group called People Who Die from Touching Quarters. Go ahead.
All right. Well, there's in a bag. All right.
All right.
There's two ways to win. You can either answer a question or you can guess what's in my box. Here's how that works. I imagine a box in my head, but I don't know what's in it. Only Jeff, the robot, knows what's in the box. You try and guess. If you're right, Jeff will tell us. If you're wrong, something awful will happen.
I'm going to guess the box.
Okay. Okay, if that's the way you want to go. All right, you ready? Okay. Jeff, are you ready?
I am ready.
Okay. Jeff, I'm imagining a box. Why do you have to make that sexy noise when I say that? You know, I mean,
I'm just getting into it, man.
all right.
This guy's got to use an Allen wrench to get...
Hey. He's not the only one. Will that mysteriously not be in the show as well? Hey, it looks like we were edited again!
This is going to sound like Goodfellas on TNT.
You know what you are, buddy? You know what you are? You're a melon farmer. You're a melon farmer. All right, I'm imagining a box, Jeff. There's something in it. Okay, Dennis, there's something in the box. What are you thinking of?
A smaller, circular box.
What kind of drugs were you into back in the day?
Thorazine.
Yeah.
Jeffrey, did I win it?
We would have accepted hammy penis. But your answer is correct.
Correct answer! That is $50 American in quarters in a bag with a dollar sign on it.